Welcome to the Quinta, where finally it's not raining. We've literally had 2 full weeks of rain, but in amongst that we have been collecting olives. We've been trimming the trees a little bit in between showers, and I am going to go and take the olives to be processed into oil. So we'll see how much we get. Apologies if you've been waiting for a video to come out. Yeah, it's been so disgusting that we literally haven't been able to do any filming at all. We've been in a cloud for the last 2 weeks, and yeah, that's not great for lighting. So apologies for that. Right, let's go and find a mill. Go and crush up these lovely olives. There we go. This is the sort of weather we've been having. Doesn't bother Maya, does it? Are you having a right time? Are you alright? You don't mind the rain. You don't mind the rain. But I need to re-roof this house, and that's not going to happen just at the moment. Let me show you, however, apart from the timber here, which is just pine of some description, Douglas fir, I'm not quite sure what. I'll show you the insulation, because it's rather special stuff. That's not a security feature. Right, I've bought a load of expanded foam boards, and this is going to be my insulation. These are 5 centimetre 50mm sheets, and it is really solid. So that's going to be the insulation, and I've also got a load of OSB for various nefarious things. And I've got some more firewood there to sort out. So I'm a little bit spoiled for choice at the moment as to what jobs to get done. I really need to separate the wood out with some little bearers, some fillets between them, because otherwise the air's not going to circulate. I'll just show you, have a look what I mean. Pop over here. So it's not good to have it piled up one on top of the other like this, so I need to put another bearer, another bit of wood in between each layer there, and to do that of course means moving the whole lot, so I may as well put it somewhere more useful. This is one side of the roof that needs to come off, and what I want to do is I want to bring up this bit here and make a bit of a sort of an entrance there, because we're going to use the upstairs. At the moment it's just full of cobwebs. Redo this, lift it up slightly, and one thing I'd really like to do is say thank you Gilles, because I had my wonderful in-laws come and stay, and he cleared out this whole gutter of all the moss and muck, because enough water does get into this house as it is, so anything we can do to stop it wicking is brilliant. Are you good? Right, have a look at these olives. I think this is going to be the extra priority. Look at those. Size of them, wonderful. Now if you ever tried to eat an unripe olive, it's not something I'm going to do on camera because my face will turn inside out. It's a horrible thing. Hello pigeons, very sensibly. I think they're staying out of the weather for a bit. Right, olive harvest. Okay, hold that. So one of the advantages of stacking them and sighting them is I've actually, and you can see that one just here, it's really exaggerated, it's got a massive twist in it, but I've stacked them so that, like a humpback bridge, the humps are up in the middle, so that should hopefully get some nice straight dry beams in due course. Well, I'm hoping this is the place. We'll see whether they're actually operating. Lovely concrete block. Yeah, so just back from dropping off the olives, and we're back to normal autumn weather. So I was going to do some more harvesting today, but I think I might wait for this to pass over. Oh, yuck. Huh? So one of the easiest ways to actually harvest these is to do the pruning of the tree at the same time, and then you can just pull them off the branch. Yeah, doing everything by hand. And you know, you can get machines that can do it for you, but they're really expensive, and we just can't justify it for such a small scale operation. Well, it's all looking a little bit of a mess. We've got olive branches absolutely everywhere, so I'm going to have to come back and clear all that up. But first of all, I'm going to take the second load of olives that we've harvested down to the mill, and we'll maybe have a quick look around there and see how technology has moved on. Because around here, in olden days, there were all sorts of mills. Every village would have one, and often more than one would be serving a particular village. And the nice thing about them was they were actually water powered mills. Now, this is an old mill, and it really is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful building. Such a shame to see it in a state of disrepair. But I brought you down here because there is one thing that is still here, which is, in my view, really cool. Amazingly still intact is the old wheel that would have ground the olives, and you can see that it's got this massive stone wheel here, and all the stuff would have come out of the bottom, and this was all driven by water. And this is actually where the water would have come down. This is not a wall, it is in fact an aqueduct, and it is so cool. And you see the end of the race. There's the old whatchamacallit channel that would have brought the water and turned the wheel, and the gears presumably would have gone through that wall and into the site to power that amazing grindy wheel. Wow. So that
Depois temos que tirar 38 quilos, que é quanto isto pesa. Maloc.
Oi. Ah, right. Are you back online? That's nice. So we have got 300 kilos minus 38 kilos, so that is 262 kilos worth of olives down there. And the chap said that 1 litre of olive oil requires about 8 or 9 kilos of olives. So he's also invited us back to have a look at the machines next week working away, so that is going to be really exciting because, you know, I'm quite interested in the whole process. I did ask him what happens to the mush that is left over, because obviously what they do is they crush it and they get a liquid. They then sit that liquid there so that the water and the oil separate away. And I said to him, well, what happens to the pulp that remains from the sorry, I'm just going to drive around this junction. What happens to the pulp that remains after you've crushed the olives? Does it go to animal feed? And he said, well, that used to be the case, and I have to admit I was rather hoping that would still be the case. But he says no, what comes out now is too liquid. These the bits that they separate out are too liquid, and so yeah, it just gets chucked, which seems a heck of a waste. Now I'm stopping here because I've got a fire truck to get past. There we go. Nice. Anyway, so we're going to come back down and have a little look at the process next week and come and pick up our olive oil. So 8 into 24, that's through. We might get 30 litres of olive oil, which be really exciting. Right, onwards and upwards. Should just say, how much is it costing us to actually get this oil produced? And he's given us the choice between paying for it, so money, or a percentage of oil, and that's a 20% cut that they take. And yeah, for me, quid pro quo, I'd much rather that they took their 20% of oil and then they can do whatever they want with it, rather than mucking around with dealing in a cash transaction. I think it's just a really interesting way that they do it. Why not? You know, we don't actually, in my opinion, always need to be swapping cash for stuff. You know, if you've got a pig and you know, swap a sausage for some eggs. I know that's a silly example, but it just keeps you out of the constant need to be using currency. Worthwhile just looking at the price of olive oil. So we've got $7.19 for the cheapest, $10.49. Already got 3 litres, $20.99. So it is really worthwhile doing your own. Now, not that I actually need an excuse to buy a bottle of wine, but I thought I'd do a little bit of a price comparison. This bottle was $3.99, and that works out at what, €5, 5.5 euros a litre. So significantly less expensive than olive oil. So just in case you were thinking about planting a vineyard or olive trees, it does appear that you're going to make a better return on your capital by going down the olive oil route, and that's probably a lot healthier. Well, it's another very misty morning, but it's time to go and get the oil. So let's go and see how much we got. So here we have the first step in becoming olive oil. We've got to separate out all the leaves and twiggy bits, and this is what this machine does first. And outside, all the leaves and muck come, presumably to go to compost. And the next stage, they are separated out into their various sizes as required. I'm guessing that most of them just go straight through the system though. And the next thing, they fall into the chopper, the actual mill itself, and here it is. So the mill grinds up the olives, and they then, as a paste, come through this tube and they're put into these, I don't know what you call them, vats, where they're squished and turned around and massaged. And actually they're all kept apart, separate lots for separate clients, so that's really good. There's the centrifuge. They all get spun out from all the other stuff and it's collected. There it is, the actual lovely golden nectar, and it's stored in the vats before actually being put into containers for us. And the remainder of the stuff, it goes out here where it can be collected by a truck. Well, as you can see, it is absolutely disgusting weather, but you have a little bit of bottled sunshine. We got 26 litres of beautiful olive oil, and that's a real pleasure after all that work. So thank you very much indeed for watching. Sorry the weather wasn't on our side, but do hit the old likes and share the video if you've enjoyed it. Come along next time. Thanks very much. It's a Vespa Velutina, and managed to get inside the cage. We'll let that out in a minute. And our first honey. So didn't film a lot, but look at that, isn't that beautiful? So we just took 2 frames out because I wanted to give them a little bit more space, and we'll open that up and see what it looks like. So I've cut the combs, took the capping off, and we got loads and loads and loads of lovely honey and a very sticky table.